Welcome back to Morbid Sunshine. I hope everybody's well. Recently, there's been a few updates in the Idaho matter. I have never covered anything to do with the case before. I wanted to get more info before I made give my 2 cents in. There's a lot of people out there who are under the illusion that the 2 girls that were in shock for 9 hours had some part to play. I'm not completely convinced by that at all. I don't know if everybody's listened to the police calls, but we can't say ourselves what we would do in that situation, and you have to respect the fact that you yourself wouldn't know. And creating content with bizarre theories is only hurting the people that have been through this, and it's pretty cruel, in my opinion, to do that. Sorry about all the noise. I just don't agree with that theory at all. I myself have been in the flight or fight mode in my life, and I can say it can paralyze a person so intensely that they would absolutely deny seeing blood. They wouldn't even see it. You get the impression that they were absolutely in the delusion and the shock that they were asleep. But I've been looking online, as I do. I like to get evidence. I'm going to read today a statement of Brent Payne. He was the police officer who went to the house at the time. It's a 19-page statement. It was, I think, released in January of 2025. I've not heard people talk about this, so I thought I would come on and read the 19 pages. Bear with me. No Shakespeare, yeah. So I do like to give my opinion, and that is only my opinion. It's not on any level a professional opinion, okay? It's just me as a YouTuber reading the documentation, yeah. There's other documents. There's a bigger document than this, 175 pages. This is what this has taken off, okay? I've read the 175 pages. Okay, so I don't want to have to do that again, but this is quite insightful, into the matter of what happened, what were the circumstances, what was his feeling about the case. I'm not sure if he's still on the case or not. There's been quite a few heartbreaking comments out there about the parents not knowing information first before. The media are out there first getting this information, and police aren't making the family aware, because these days information gets released so quick, but sometimes if you're not looking for it, you won't see it. You won't see it on YouTube. You won't see it on. That's what I look for, is information that hasn't been. I'm not saying it's just me out there that does this. I'm sure there's plenty of people who do documentation work, but I'm just not sure I have heard anybody talk about this yet. I was watching Annie Elise yesterday. She did a good rundown of what has been happened, an up-to-date analysis. We will go over that, but I don't want to use people. I'm new to new YouTube. I'll be honest, I don't know the rules. I am sorry if I've ever used your content and you've not wanted me to. It is fair use, it is reaction, it isn't to degrade your content, it's to analyse. It's not to do with roasting anyone or anything like that. You see my last video, maybe people have got this impression. No, I try to remain objective. That's what I try to do. There's a lot of cult on YouTube at present, and I only have heard of the carbonation cult, I can't remember, the melatonin, I don't know, but it was called something else first, wasn't it? But I don't know much about that. I've been researching about that. So I've been doing a mix of work, but I really want to stick to the recent cases that are coming to surface now, like this case, like the Stephen Stearns case. I'll be looking up documentation for that too next. I'm just going to go through this, read it out to you, and I'm not going to miss parts. I'm going to read it all in its entirety because I don't want anybody to think that there's details there that I'm deliberately skipping. Okay. On the November 13th, at approximately 4 p.m, Moscow Police Department's MPD, Sergeant Blaker and respondents 21122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, hereafter the King Road residence, to assist with the scene security and processing of crime scene associated with 4 homicides. Upon our arrival, the Idaho State Police forensic team was on scene and was preparing to begin the process of the scene. MPD Officer Smith, one of the initial responding officers to the incident, advised he would walk me through the scene. OFC Smith and I entered the King Road residence through the bottom floor door on the north side of the building. OFC Smith and I walked upstairs to the second floor. OFC Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which I later learned through Xana's driver's license and other personal belongings found in the room was Xana's hereafter Kernodle's room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the south wall of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Xana's, laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan Chaplin. Chaplin was also deceased with wounds later determined. Autopsy report were provided by Spokane and is redacted. County Medical Examiner dated December 15, 2022 to be caused by sharp force injuries. Then followed OFC Smith's upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee I'm sorry if I'm not saying these names right. Kaylee Gonclaves. After Gonclaves' room, I later learned from review of the officer name's body camera, after was a dog in the room when Moscow police officer initially responded. The dog belonged to Gonclaves and her ex-boyfriend Jack. I found out from my interview with Jack on 13th of November that he and Gonclaves shared the dog. OFC Smith then pointed out a small bathroom on the east side of the third floor. This bathroom shared a wall with Madison Mogan's bedroom, which was situated on the southeast corner of the third floor. So these girls were on the third floor. The incidents happened on the first floor. As I entered this bedroom, I could see 2 females in a single bed in a room. Both Gonclaves and Mogan were deceased, with visible stab wounds. I also later noticed what appeared to be tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. When viewed from the door, the sheath was later processed and had K-Bar USMC and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and an anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The Idaho State Lab later located the single source of a male DNA suspect profile left on the button of the snap of the knife sheath. As part of the investigation, numerous interviews were conducted by Moscow Police Department officers, Idaho Police State detectives and FBI agents. 2 of the interviews included BF and DM. Both BF and DM were inside the King Road residence at the time of the homicides. and were the roommates of the victims. BF's bedroom was located on the east side of the first floor of King Road residence. So Bethany's bedroom was on the first floor, and she was just by chance left out, you know. Also, with the house being knocked down, how will the jury be able to? Wouldn't there have been more evidence we could have taken? And I don't know, you know, it just seems pretty harsh to knock it down completely, especially since it's not gone to court yet. And he's trying to make it extremely difficult for the court. And the evidence. But the evidence is DNA's on the knife sheath. You know, I'm not sure why everybody out there is believing that this man isn't guilty. Well, because he's slightly cute. You serious? He's not even that cute. He's disgusting. But I remember when the news first broke that he himself was on the news talking about the Idaho killers, the Idaho situation. I'm sure it was Brian Cober that got on the news talking about it at the time. And I'm not sure, but people early on had suspicions about the person who was talking on the TV, but that'll come out in court. I'm not sure or convinced because nobody seems to have mentioned that. And I'm not sure if I'm thinking it was a different case or no. But I have a feeling it was him who was on the news talking. It was just a bizarre interview anyway. I can't digress. Based on numerous interviews conducted by MPD officers and ISP detectives and FBI agents, as well as my review of evidence, I have learned the following. On November 12, 2022, Chaplin and Kernodle were seen by BF at the Sigma Chi House on the University of Idaho campus, 735 Nays Pierce Drive, from approximately 9 p.m. on November 12th to 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. Bethany also estimated that approximately 1:45 a.m. Chaplin and Kernodle returned to the King residence. BF also stated that Chaplin did not live in King Road, even Chaplin residence, but was a great guest of Xana's. I mean, she's trying to bash, you know what I mean? Goncalves and Mogan were at a local bar, the Corner Club, at 202 N Main Street in Moscow. Goncalves and Mogan can be seen on the video footage provided by the Corner Club between 10 p.m. on November 12th and 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At approximately 1:30 a.m., Goncalves and Mogan can be seen on video at a local food vendor called the Grub Truck at 318 South Main Street in downtown Moscow. The Grub Truck live streams video of their food truck on streaming platform Twitch, which is available for public viewing on their website. This video was captured by law enforcement. A private party, blank redacted, reported that he provided a ride to Goncalves and Mogan at approximately 1:56 from downtown Moscow in front of the Grub Truck to King Road residents. DM and BF both made statements during the interviews which indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 p.m. and asleep or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Oh my god. The law enforcement, so he came around literally as she was like eating her food. The law enforcement indicated that the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. DM stated she originally went to sleep in her bedroom, on the southeast side of the second floor. So she's on the second floor, Dylan. Stated she was awoken at approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Goncalves playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedrooms, which were located on the third floor. A short time later, DM said she heard who she thought was gone clear, say something to the effect, "There's someone here." Oh, that's so scary, isn't it? Oh my God. A review of the records obtained from the forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could also have been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using TikTok app at 4:12 a.m. DM stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comments about someone being in the house. DM states she opened the door a second time when she heard what was thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. DM then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Oh God. At approximately 4:17 a.m, a security camera located at 1112 King Road, a residence immediately to the northwest of 122 King Road, picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimpering followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times, starting at 4:17. The security camera is less than 50 feet away. Oh my God, west wall of Kernodle's bedroom. DM stated she opened her door for the third time, Jesus Christ, as she heard crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. DM described the figure as 5'10" or taller, male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. Now that sounds like him, doesn't it? The male walked past DM as she stood in a frozen shock phase. The male walked towards the back sliding door. DM locked herself in her bedroom. After seeing the male, DM did not state that she recognised the male. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. The combination of DM's statements to the law enforcement, reviews of forensic downloads and records from BF and DM's phones, and video of the suspect video, as described below, leads investigators to believe the homicide occurred between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. During the process of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by ISP forensic team, by the first using a presumptive blood test and then aminoblack, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern, similar to the pattern on the Vans type shoe sole. Oh right, yeah, I get you. Just outside the door of DM's bedroom, located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statements regarding the suspect's path of travel. So it matches up to what she's saying, basically. Okay, hang on, sorry. DM stated she looked out of her bedroom window. She looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comments about someone being in the house. DM stated she opened the door second time when she heard, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." We read that bit, sorry. At approximately 4:17, a security for camera, we picked that up, didn't we? DM stated she opened the door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure in clad. Okay, we read that, didn't we? The combination of DM statements and law enforcement review of the forensic downloads of the records of BF and DM's phone, the video of the suspect video as described below, leads investigators to believe the homicide occurred between this time, 4 and 4:25 a.m. During the process of the crime scene, investigators found the latent shoe prints. Why am I reading all this again? I am sorry. As a part of the investigation, an extensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as video canvass, was conducted in the area of King Road residence. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from early morning hours of November 13th for 2022 in the area of King Road residence and the surrounding neighbourhoods in an effort to locate the suspect or the suspect vehicle travelling to or leaving from King Road residence. This video canvass resulted in a collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both residential and business addresses. I have reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have had conversations with other MPD officers and ISP detectives and FBI investigative agents that are similarly reviewing the footage that was obtained. The review of the camera footage indicated that that a white sedan, hereafter suspect vehicle 1, was obtained travelling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow at approximately 3:26 a.m. The westbound on Stainer Avenue and Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow at approximately 3:28 a.m. On this video, it appears the suspect vehicle 1 was not displaying a front license plate. A review of the footage from multiple videos obtained from Kings Road neighbourhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle starting at 3:29 a.m. and ending at 4:20 a.m. These sightings show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the residence and then leave via Wellento Drive. Based off my evidence as a patrol officer, this is the residential neighbourhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in the area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that entered the exit this area during this time frame. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time at approximately 4 a.m. and can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in the front of 500 Queen Road, #52, and then driving back westbound on Kings Road. When the suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn, good for him, and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. Suspect 1 vehicle is next seen departing an area of King Road residence approximately 4:20. I'm trying to look up the stair and stuff, so I've got that on the background, sorry. On Wellento Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of the camera footage in the neighbourhood, that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame. I believe the suspect 1 likely exited the neighbourhood at Palouse River Drive and Conestoga Drive. It's America for you. Palouse River Drive is at the southern edge of Moscow and proceeds to Whitman County, Washington. Eventually, the road leads to Pullman, Washington. Pullman, Washington is approximately 10 miles from Moscow. Oh, right, Idaho. Both Pullman and Moscow are small college towns, and people commonly travel back and forth between them. It's like me going 7 miles away from here, committing a murder, and then go back. Law enforcement officers provided a video footage of suspect 1 vehicle to forensic examiners with the Federal Bureau of Investigations that regularly utilises the surveillance footage to identify the year, the make and the model of an unknown vehicle that is observed by 1 or more cameras during the commission of the criminal offence. The forensic examiner has approximately 35 years law enforcement experience with 12 years at the FBI. His specific training includes identifying unique characteristics of a vehicle, and he uses the database that gives visual clues of vehicles across states to identify difference between the vehicles. Which is how they caught him out, really, wasn't it? Because the date and the make, it's quite distinctive car, you know. It's bizarre that he used his car. I mean, he was so eager to kill them. Yes, he uses his own car. I mean, it's so manic in a way. It's like a frenzy attack. You know, he planned it. He planned it and he didn't care about getting caught. It does seem that way to me, because to not leave a car, he might as well have parked on the front, went in, stabbed them, come back out again, because he's got caught with his car, you know, on cameras around the area. Just shows you how stupid he is for a person who's got a degree in criminology, you know. You can't put brain on murder. You can't put intelligence and murder in the same sentence with this man, you know. After reviewing the numerous observations of Suspect 1 vehicle, the forensic examiner initially believed that the Suspect 1 vehicle was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Distinctive, isn't it? Upon further review, he indicated it could also be, 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. As a result, the investigators have been reviewing information on persons in possession of vehicle that is 2011 to 2016 white Hyundai Elantra. Investigators were given access to video footage on Washington State University campus located in Pullum. Now, this is where he goes to university. He's in the car park, isn't he, in that video? And the police officer identifies the vehicle, makes a false excuse up to talk to him. You know, gets his number, traces everything about him. It's amazing technology now, I think. And he didn't realise that. He's so dumb. I just don't get it. A review of that video indicated that approximately 2:44 a.m. on November 13, 2022, a white sedan, which was consistent with the description of the white Elantra, known as Suspect 1 vehicle, was observed on the WSUU surveillance cameras travelling north of Southeast Nevada Street on Northeast Stadium Way. At approximately 2:53 a.m., a white sedan, which is consistent with the description of the white Elantra known as Suspect 1 vehicle, was observed travelling east-southeast of Nevada Street in Pullum, WA towards RSA SR 270 and SR 270 connects Pullum, Washington to Mexico, Idaho. This camera footage so he had no choice but to go on this road to Washington, because you have the imperialism system in America, don't you? You see, we have little side EBC roads around in England because we have the metric system. But in America, they have the imperial system, so it's like one road to get to the next state, if you know what I mean. Which makes sense. How they identify these people, I mean, it's really interesting, isn't it? At approximately 5:25 a.m, a sedan, which was consistent with the description of Suspect 1 vehicle, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullum, Washington, and on the campus cameras, the Washington State University cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullum. The white sedan was observed travelling northbound of Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. The white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on SR 270 at approximately 5:27 a.m. The white Elantra was observed on camera travelling northbound on Stadium Way in Nevada Street, Stadium Way at Grimes Way, Stadium Drive at Wilson Road, and Stadium Way at Cougar Way. Depiction shows Moscow and Pullum, where his vehicle was. Yeah. That's not really a very clear description. Depiction showing Moscow and Pullum together. You know, connecting the states together, and where he was in the car, and you know, where he is there, you know, They picked his car up, you know. Depiction showing a white Elantra path of travel, not a scale. Okay. A white Elantra seen leaving WSU campus is marked in the green triangle. And the red triangle is the white Elantra seen returning to the campus. The square is the Northeast Valley Road. Arrows are cameras' locations and indicate the vehicle direction of travel. Okay. I'm just going to put that there for you for a minute and talk. I mean, it's quite. I'm not sure how he managed to know these girls, and there's a lot of indication that he went to university, he went to the same shops, he integrated with them. See, this is the thing with stalking girls online, you know, and when you're stalking somebody online, you don't know them. You have no right to take someone down. You have no right to take a life because you can't have them, or you're envying their lifestyle. It's not acceptable. And there has to be like some kind of system in place, you know, like say if someone looks at your account too much, it sort of bars them from looking at your account, say, more than 5 times, you know, in a month. There has to be some kind of system in place for these types of stalkers because they do it too much. They do it too much, and there's too much stalking these days. I was stalked recently, and I wasn't told for 2 years that people were looking on my accounts, and led to me having to take my daughter out of the school because, I'll be honest with you, I felt violated. You know, this is all because I didn't get in a car, you know, with a gentleman. Now, I don't do getting in cars with other women's men, you know. That's just me. You know? I'll go in the car if it's my sister's fella or whatever. But if I don't know you as a friend, I certainly wouldn't accept a lift off you, especially alone. You know, because I watch too much crime. You know what I mean? I said no. You know, and ever since then, it made my life hell. And as a woman, you can't do anything. The law doesn't protect us anymore. There's more devastatingly things like this happening a lot. These girls were small. They didn't stand a chance against this man, you know. Vulgar, the stuff that people are putting out there. At first, it was so convincing, all the things that were out there. You see, you're watching your algorithm, right? And you're watching these things unfold, and it's tragic as it is. You don't want anything getting out because you don't want to taint the jury pool. You don't want to do anything like that. So even me, I wait because I don't want any connection in any capacity to tainting these disgusting people, you know, getting away with anything in the slightest due to media. But there's plenty of people out there who put an agenda out there. And yeah, you have your theories and stuff, but you tell people their theory, because the thing is, people actually will go full belief on you because you're a content creator. You have to have, to a certain degree, a humble sense of self and understand that this is nothing to do with us. We're reporting on things. We report the truth, because in the end, what will happen is that it'll taint people's belief, and we could end up making a young girl very ill, 2 young girls very ill, because of the trolling out there, you know. No, we're just as bad as him stalking these girls, if you get what I mean. If you're making out that these 2 girls, now we've cleared everything, these 2 girls have nothing to do with him, you have to report your mistakes and say, listen, I was wrong. I hold my hands up. I was very wrong to do that. But you won't get a contact with a creator doing that much. I'm one of them people who think I've got no right to turn around and say things and not say, listen, this is my opinion. I might change it. Like with the Diddy case, now, don't get me wrong, I had a controversial opinion. I don't put it out there. I have never ever told you my thoughts on it. I think there's a deeper, darker connection, you know, with that. And I don't think it's just Diddy, you know what I mean? So when I see these people like Jaguar Wright on the TV and all that, and now she's in the court documents, she's been accused of holding a girl down while she was getting attacked, you realise that it makes you physically sick knowing that you've supported this person, you've believed this person, right? People will not think like that and walk away and think, wow, she's crazy, right? Some people will stick to it like glue, you know. And I watched Maggie's thing last night, and people were like that to her. But you made us believe her. And that's the problem right there, Maggie, darling. You're taking payments, you're taking cash apps, you're taking money off people you've conned, basically. You're just as bad as that, you know. And you see all that type of propaganda on YouTube with the Idaho case too. It's a case that I didn't want to touch because it's like, I find it pretty sad that people have these crazy beliefs that, you know, you can't be in shock and be stood for, you know, if you've never been in shock before, don't comment, because you'd have no idea what that's like as a woman, you know, and especially if you're a man reporting this, no. But I will always try and give you updates. Yeah, it might not be exciting. It might not be a story like that. It might not be exciting and juicy and loads of little twists and turns in it. This is it. It's stopping people who have these disgusting issues with taking lives. That's what it's about. Taking life away from someone is the ultimate sin, you know? And I can't imagine that would have been, I would have probably done the same. I probably would have went in the room and probably blacked out, you know, and that would be normal reaction, wouldn't it? You know, you can't say you would have done something different. You would have called it, but the girl was in fucking shock, and she's a child, really. She's only like, what, 18, 21. On November 25th, 2022, MPD asked area law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for white Hyundai Elantras in the area. On November 29th, 2022, at approximately 12:28 a.m., Washington State University, WSU, police officer Daniel Diego queried white Elantra registered at the WSU. As a result of the query, he located a 2015 white Elantra with a Pennsylvania license plate. This vehicle was registered to Brian Koberger. Hereafter, Koberger resided at 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 201, Pullman, Washington. 1630 Northeast Valley Road is approximately 3/4 of a mile from the intersection of the Stadium Way and Cougar Way. Last camera location that picked up the white Electra. Oh, that's interesting. It's good how they tie it all together, map it all out, isn't it? I find it fascinating. I can't wait for the trial. I hope it's televised. That same day, at approximately 12:58 a.m., WSU officer Curtis Whiteman was looking for white Hyundai Elantra, located at 2015 white Hyundai Elantra and 1630 Northeast Valley Road in Pullman. With the parking lot, 1630 Northeast Valley Road is an apartment complex that houses WSU students. I wish to say to the families, I am so deeply sorry. I have 2 daughters, and I can't imagine life being the same after that, after losing a child. It's just, you know, your child's not meant to go before you, you know. And I don't feel he has an ounce of remorse. I just don't. And I think he's enjoying the whole process. He knew that he'd get caught. It's like he wanted to get caught, let's face it. You know, I mean, they've caught him out so well. That's why I like watching the trial, because I like to see how the FBI map it all out together and how they piece it all together. It's quite genius, you know, to watch. You know, but we don't get that in England. We're not allowed to, because you have to go to court and see it, but you're not allowed to record none of that, you know. Yeah. We should have a different law in this country, I really feel that way. Officer Whitman also ran the car, and it returned with Koberger with a Washington tag. I reviewed Koberger's WA state driver's license information and photograph. This license indicates that Koberger is a white male with a height of 6 foot and weighs 180 pounds. Additionally, the photograph of Koberger shows that he has bushy eyebrows. Koberger's physical description is consistent with the description of the male DM saw inside the King Road residence on the 13th of November. Further investigation included a review of Lafayette County Sheriff's Deputy CPL Duke's body cam, and reports showed that on August 21st, 2022, Koberger was detained as part of a traffic stop and occurred in Washington, Idaho. Oh, so this was a couple of months before that. He'd also handed over his phone number at that moment and stuff like that. And that's how the police got the pings on his phone, yeah? And then they arrested him. I just want to say as well, if you're subscribing, keep subscribed or just don't come. You know, I get subscribers coming and then they're just unsubscribing. I really don't know what I'm doing wrong on this. Only information is free. You know, I could put it on Patreon, you know, I don't do that, you know, so please stop unsubscribing because, like, I don't put the content out that it's very biased as well. If you're not into the true crime, then you're just after salation. This isn't the channel. Investigators believe that Koberger is still driving the 2015 white Electra because his vehicle was captured on the 13th of December 2022 by a license plate reader in Luna, Colorado. Information provided by inquiry to database. Koberger's Elantra was then queried, I can't even see my glasses, on the 15th of December 2022 by law enforcement in Hancock County, Indiana. On the December 16th of 2022 at approximately 2:26 p.m., surveillance video shows Koberger and the Elantra in Albuquerqueville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant of the vehicle was white male whose description was consistent with Koberger. Koberger has family in Albuquerqueville in Pennsylvania, learned through, this says in brackets, learned through a TLO search and location tool database inquiry. Based on the information provided on the WSU website, the Washington State University website, Koberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. Such an ego, I think. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department, we learned that Koberger's past education included undergraduate's degree in psychology and cloud-based forensics. Don't know what that means. These records also show Koberger wrote an essay when he applied for internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Koberger wrote in his essay he had an interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyse technological data in public safety operations. Koberger also, it's amazing these type of people are the stalkers, aren't they? Koberger also posted a Reddit survey which can be found by an open source internet search. The survey asked for participants to provide information to understand how emotional and psychological traits influence the decision making when committing a crime. I wonder what it said in that essay. I believe the essay is out there to be seen. As part of this investigation, law enforcement obtained a search warrant to determine cellular devices that utilise cellular towers in close proximity to Kings Road residents on November 13th, 2022, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. After determining that Koberger was associated to both the white Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrant returns. Hang on a second, need sugar in my coffee. An inquiry of the phone in these returns did not show the phone utilising cellular tower data resources in close proximity to King Road residents between their hours. But based on my training and experience, hang on, where's my sugar? Hang on a second. Right. Based on my training and experience and conversations with law enforcement officers that specialised in the utilisation of cellular telephone records as part of an investigation, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime, or turn their cellular tower phone off prior to going to a location to commit a crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that the cellular device associated to them was in a particular area where the crime was committed. Usually, right, even if you have your phone turned off, FBI can trace your steps with that phone, where you were with that phone. It's still connected to towers. Yeah. Interesting, you know. Right. I just went completely blank then. I had a little bit of a palpitation. Hang on a minute. I'll go back. It's the size of a cat outside. It's huge. Okay, he says, also know that the numerous associations subjects will survey the area where they are intended to commit the crime prior to the date, depending on the circumstances. This could be done in a few days before or several months prior to the commission of the crime. During these types of surveillance, it is possible that individual would not leave their cellular telephone at a separate location or turning it off, since they do not plan to commit an offence on a particular day. On December 23rd of 2022, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12th, 22 at 12 a.m. and November 14th, 12 a.m. for the phone in question, held by the phone AT&T, approximately 24 hours preceding and following the times of the homicides. On December 23, 2023, pursuant to the search warrant, I received records of the phone from AT&T. These records indicated that the phone is subscribed to Brian Koberger at his address in Pennsylvania, and the account has been open since June 2023. 22. Are you going out then? Go and fight the cat then. You want to go out there, go. I'm scared of him, he's big. Right. After receiving this information, a consultant with the FBI agent that has certified as a member of the Cellular Analysis Survey Team, members of CAST are certified with the FBI to provide expert testimony in field of historical, CSLAI, and are required to pass extensive training that includes both written and practical. It's just saying what is needed for this type of analyst, what he needs to be qualified in, because when they go to court, they ask him, what's your qualifications, what type of certificates have you obtained for this, that type of thing. Required extensive training, including both written and practical examinations. The examinations they do alone to pass for all this. It's amazing what digital data brings to a case, To be certified with CAST, that was used in the Laurie Vallow case, as well as the completion of a yearly certification requirements. Additionally, the FBI CAST SA that I consulted with has over 15 years of federal law enforcement experience, which includes 6 years with the FBI from information provided by CAST. I was able to determine estimated locations for the phone from November 12th, 2022 to 13th of November of 22, the time period authorised by the court. On November 13th, at approximately 2:42 a.m., the phone was utilising cellular resources that provided coverage to 1630 North East Valley Road, Apartment J201, Pullum, WA, hereafter the Koberger residence. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the phone utilised cellular resources that provided coverage southeast of Koberger's residence, consistent with the phone, leaving the Koberger residence and travelling south through Pullum, Washington. This is consistent with the movement of the white Elantra. At approximately 2:47 a.m., the phone stopped reporting to the network. So he turned his cellular phone off before 3 o'clock, before the offence, and hid it somewhere around that area. Okay. At approximately 2:47 a.m, the phone stops reporting to the network, which is consistent with either the phone being in the area without cellular coverage, the connection to the network is disabled, such as putting your phone on airplane mode, or that the phone is turned off. Oh, right, I see. So they can't. I thought you could track a phone even though it's turned off, because they did for the Kylie Rodney case, didn't they? The 8458 phone does not report to the network again until approximately 4:48 a.m. This is on this day, the 13th, at which time it's utilised cellular resources that provide coverage to ID State Highway 95 south of Moscow, ID near Blaine. Okay. Between 4:50 and 5:26, the phone utilises cellular resources that are consistent with the phone travelling southbound on ID State Highway 95 to Genesee, ID, then travelling west towards Uniontown, ID, and then north back to Pullum, Washington. At approximately 5:30, the phone is utilising resources provided coverage to Pullum, Washington, WA, and consistent with the phone travelling back to the Koberger residence. So his cellular phone was utilised around Pullum, around Moscow. Based on the review of the phone, estimated locations and travel, and the phone's travel is consistent with that of the white Elantra too. So they're tying them both together, where he was, and he was in the car as himself. So he went out for a stroll, he was saying he could afford something better than that. You know what I mean? He went stargazing that fucking hour in the morning with no binoculars, no telescope, no nothing. It's absolute baloney. But at the same time, this offence happened. His phone is Elantra's in that area. You're bound to rights, aren't you? So I'm not sure why people are trying to suggest that he wasn't in that area when his car and his phone utilised cellular data, and he was seen on many surveillance cameras in the area, even doing a 3-point turn going back to Fulham. Pennsylvania, is it? Wherever he's from. Further review, have I read that bit? Further review indicated that the phone utilised cellular resources on November 13, 2022 that are consistent with the phone leaving the area of Koberger's residence approximately at 9 a.m. and travelling back to Moscow ID. Specifically, the phone utilised cellular resources that would provide coverage of King Road residence at 9:12 a.m. So we went back, and at 9:21, the 858 phone next utilised cellular resources that are consistent with the phone travelling back to the area of Koberger residence and arriving at the area at approximately 9:32. So he's not that far away, he's 10 miles. Below is a depiction, not a scale, of the possible route taken based on the cellular site locations. Wow. So they've tracked him that. I mean, wow. The cast team really are good, aren't they? I mean, I watched it in the Laurie Vallow case, and we know that, like, from that, the last time JJ was spotted was on that camera going into the house, and that was it, you know. They really do track everything and place it in order for the court to understand, and I was so impressed with how specific and detailed and to the dot it is, and you know, to the killing, you know. I mean, I mean, you use your phone. I mean, I also, in the case of the murderers, remember, I can't remember, he was a lawyer, and like he killed his family. Well, from that, his Snapchat, you know, his voice, he was caught out by just his voice being on that Snapchat. And that's the beauty of cast team. It's like, without phones, like them or not, right? Phones have solved so many cases, you know. Investigators found that the phone did not connect to the cell phone tower that provides service to Moscow on the 14th of 2022. But investigators do not believe that the phone was in Moscow on that date. The phone has not been connected to any towers that provide service to Moscow since that date. Very suspicious, you know, in itself, isn't it? Based on my training, experience and facts of the investigation thus far, I believe that Koberger, the user of the phone, was likely the driver of the Elantra that is observed departing Fulham, WA, and that this vehicle is likely suspect vehicle 1. Additionally, the route of travel on the phone during the early morning hours of 13th of November, and the lack of phone reporting to AT&T between 2:47 and 4:48 is consistent with Koberger attempting to conceal the location during the quadruple homicide that occurred at that King Road residence. I love the way he snarks on his little on about like the fact that like he's meant to be like a PhD in criminology. His subject was like data training, you know, data analysis, and here he is like getting banged to rights by it. On December 23rd, 2022, I was granted a search warrant of Koberger's historical CSLI from the June of 23rd, 2022 to currently prospective location information and a pen registered and trap and trace on the phone to aid in efforts to determine if Koberger stalked any of the victims, in this case prior to the offence. Give me a minute, lovelies, I'm just having a cigarette. Conducting surveillance on King's Road residence was in contact with any of the victims associated before or after the alleged offence. Any location that may contain evidence of murders that occurred in November 13, 2022, the location of the white Elantra registered to Koberger, as well as the location of Koberger himself. On December 23, 2022, the pursuant that search warrants, I received historical records for the phone from the AT&T from the time the account was opened in June 2022. After consulting the cast team, I was able to determine determine estimated locations of the phone from June 2022 to present at the time period authorised by the court. The records for the phone show that the phone utilising cellular resources that provide coverage of the area of Kings Road and at least 12 occasions prior to the 13th of November. So he was stalking them. So 12 times his location was on the phone at Kings Road where he lived. All of these occasions, except for one, occurred in the late evening and early hours of their respective days. So it was... Okay, let me read that again. I received historical records from the phone of AT&T from the time the account was opened, June 22. After consulting CAS team, I was able to determine the estimated location of the phone from June 2022 to present, so 12 times from June to the period authorised by the court. The records for the phone show utilising cellular resources that provide coverage of the area of that address, 1122 King Road, on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13th. All of these occasions, except one, occurred in the late and it gives me creeps, man. On this one occasion, right, they're talking about him going there in the early hours, right, was on August 21st of 2022. I'm going to discuss this after I talk about. On the occasion that he went there in the early hours of August 21st, I also want to make a point. I have the transcript there, of the calls where this is put into a statement, but it's 175 pages long, you see. So what I've read is in here really, but it gives an idea of what was said, and basically it's a lot creepier, I'll be honest, reading that. On the occasion in August 21st, 2022, the phone's cellular data utilised cellular resources provided coverage of King Road residents from approximately 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. At approximately 11:37 p.m, Coburger was stopped by the county sheriff deputy, as mentioned above. The cellular phone was utilising cellular resources consistent with the location of the traffic stop during this time at Farm Road and Pulham Highway. I mean, what is he doing out there at that time if he isn't stalking? And he got pulled up for basically loitering. Further analysis of the cellular data provided showed that the phone utilised cellular resources on November 13, 2022, consistent with the phone travelling to Pulham, Washington, Lewiston, Idaho via US Highway 195. And approximately at 12:37 p.m, the 8458 phone utilised cellular resources that would provide coverage to Kate Cup of Joe's coffee stand located at 810 Port Drive, Clarkston, WA. Surveillance footage from the US Chief Store located at 820 Port Drive, Clarkston, WA, and adjacent to Kate's Cup of Joe showed a white Elantra consistent of suspect one vehicle drive past Kate's Cup of Joe's at the time, consistent with the cellular data from the phone. At approximately... Hang on. This is on that day, afterwards. It would have been afterwards. Approximately 12:46 p.m, the phone then utilised cellular data in the area of Alberston grocery store at 400 Bridge Street in Clarkston, Washington. Surveillance footage obtained from the Alberston showed Coburger an exit of a white Elantra consistent with suspect vehicle 1 at approximately 12:49 p.m. The interior surveillance camera showed Coburger walk through the store, purchased unknown items at the checkout, and left at approximately 1:04 p.m. Koberger's possible path to travel is depicted and showed. Yeah, it's one straight point, really, isn't it? He's taking that route. Yeah, I mean, why is he taking that? Where's he going? You know, if he isn't going to the house. There's the house in the blue. Weird. Additional analysis of the records of the 845 phone indicated that between approximately 5:32 p.m. and 5:37 p.m. the phone data utilised cellular resources that provide coverage to Johnson ID. The 845 phone then stops reporting to the network from approximately 5:37 to 8:30 p.m. Okay, so it goes from that point away, you know, to Johnson. That consistent with the phone being in the area, the phone travelled in the hours immediately following the suspected time of the homicide occurred. On the 27th of December in Pennsylvania, agents recovered the trash from Koberger's family residence located in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. That evidence was sent to Idaho State Lab for testing. On December 28th of 2022, the Idaho State Lab reported that DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as not being excluded as the biological father of suspect's profile. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be accepted to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father. So it's related to, it's his father's DNA. Based on the above information, I am requesting an arrest warrant to be issued to Brian Koberger, 11th of 21st, 1994, for burglary of 1122 King Street in Moscow, Idaho, and 4 counts of murder in the first degree. For the murders of Madison Morgan, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Conodle, and Ethan Chaplin, I declare under penalty and perjury pursuant of the law of the state of Idaho that the foregoing is true and correct. Okay. So it's biologically, the DNA is his father's DNA on the sheath. That's what's pointing out. That's what I'm reading it as. You know. I wonder if everybody else sees that, and have I not really... I mean, nobody's pointed that out before, you see, so am I reading that wrong? I don't think so. Let's read it again. Okay, on December 28, 2022, the Idaho State Lab reported DNA profile obtained from the trash of the DNA profile obtained from the sheath. Okay, so what the DNA was found in the trash was on the DNA of the sheath, identified as male as not being excluded as the biological father of the suspect. So yeah, it's his father's DNA. Thanks for listening. I am glad I'm having a look into this now, and I will be doing more content on the Stephen Stearns case. Please keep subscribed, because I'm not one of those that I really do thoroughly give details, and I'm quick. I hope this was quick and not too long for you, and take care everyone, be safe. Goodbye.